While walking along on the Camden East Alvar today, there were times when I thought I was being transported back to World War II, or maybe even World War I. Planes were coming out of the sky and diving above my head. And I thought, new war had broken out, but these were all planes from the past. They would go away for a few minutes, and then another one would come. And then I remembered I was near the Kingston Radio Control Modelers Airport, and some of the people were out flying their model airplanes today. They were truly spectacles to behold, weaving and turning over my head, some of them large, some of them small. Anyhow, I made a point to visit the club after my walk, and I was lucky enough to talk to some of the members there about their airplanes. There were several vintage plane replicas here today at the airport. This one is a Fokker D7, obviously a German aircraft from World War I. And you can see the detail that goes into these models here, showing the machine guns. Little bolts and things, that rivets that go through the metal, or what looks like metal. The engines themselves are done on a laser printer, extruding plastic engines. Just amazing the detail that these fellows can bring to their models. Just gorgeous replica aircraft. This was the little wind speed indicator, I guess, type thing they used in those days, like an anemometer. And just some details showing the engine valve covers, I guess. This one is called a BE-2C, a British aircraft that was used in World War I. And I guess if I remember correctly, the fellow said one of its main uses was to try to shoot down the dirigibles up at 10,000 feet. Look at the detail here, it's amazing. The bombardier sitting up front, about to let a small bomb go by hand. This one, I think the fellow said, had a 10-foot wingspread on it, this model. There I am sitting beside it. It's quite large. And when these models get that big, they almost seem like they're real flying airplanes when you see them. They seem a lot more real. Again, the detail of the engine and bombs under the wing. Really quite amazing, the details. I think this fellow said it took him, or he worked on this for 4 years. So if this is a hobby you're interested in, now you can start at a much lower level and get pre-made aircraft for quite cheap prices along with a radio. And I can show some examples maybe of those later. But this is a Tiger Moth, another two-winger from the early days. This one was quite nice. I believe this one was done up in colors from New Zealand or something, the fellow said, but I could have that wrong. Showing the cockpit with all the dials in it. This one probably was 5 or 6 foot wingspan on it. And a few wings from another German aircraft of some sort. It's interesting to look at all the different planes these fellows have. Most of them have several planes. Here's a more modern, simpler version plane you could build, or some of these you might be able to buy in styles like these. But a lot of these would be built. Now obviously you can build something like this quicker than you can build the replica aircraft. Now there was one or two here. I'm not sure if this isn't one of them because there's gas there, but they do make these in electric versions too, where you can power up the batteries and maybe fly it for 5 to 10 minutes and then come down and either put a new battery in it or recharge the battery. So that's another option. If you want to take up this hobby, you don't have to fly gasoline engine aircraft necessarily, although the bigger they are, the more likely that's going to be the case. This looks like a Piper Cub about to be put together. Really nice looking replica there. And if you're serious, like some of these people are, you can see they've got trailers that hold multiple aircraft inside, and they can take them all to various meets and competitions, and it's really quite fascinating. This was a more modern version. I believe the guy said you could buy it like this right out of the store. At the end, we were treated to a flight by the two planes I saw first, the replicas. The Fokker D7 and the BE-2C about to take to the air.